What's up, everybody? Ryan here in Grove City, Pennsylvania at the lovely Grove City Outlet Mall. We got a store here, 2 package units. Both thermostats are reading 75 degrees. They're both set at 68 degrees. I can hear the blower running on one and no blower running on the other. So I don't know if one is cooling properly and just not enough to keep the store up to temperature. We're about to find out, but these are our 2 carriers we're going to check out right now. Let me hop this wall and we'll dig in. Getting too old for this hopping wall stuff. Ugh. Yeah, all right. I believe this one's running. Whether it's cooling or not, I can tell you it is condensating. This one does not appear to be doing anything. First things first, I'm gonna write up to have these covered, pulling all that air inside for no reason, bypassing the coil. So just want to confirm this one's working and running. Fans are running, blower's running. Looks like we gotta get this panel secured a little better. This needs covered. Oh, and I see ice. We're kind of froze up on that second stage back there. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. I'm gonna focus on this one because it's not running at all. So let me dig in, open it up, and we'll go from there. Okay, something smells burnt. I never shut the power off, and we have a welded closed compressor contactor. Whether or not it looks welded shut to me. Let me just confirm that we have no power. Like I said, I didn't shut anything off. Our main power is going to be yellow, black, and blue right here. They land on the bottom side of these contactors. So I'm gonna get the meter going, and I bet you we have a bad compressor. That looks awfully hot right there. That sticker is melted on that little dimple on the compressor. So let me set the camera down, confirm we have no power. If we have power, we have a serious issue because nothing's running and it smells burnt. I smell stinky electrical smell coming from this area. We have no voltage between the 3. These are 460 volt units. Look at that. 4.5, but each one to ground has 280 volts. I wish I had a better way to show you here. I want to be pretty quick about it, but each leg to ground is showing 264, 260, 277, 280, but I have no voltage in between each one. See, 16.9, 4.5, and 17. So we probably have a blown fuse or something. It's not hot. Let me confirm that this power's off now. Fairly confident, but yeah, off, off, off. The last thing I want to do is get lit up on a Monday. Off. This compressor contactor is welded shut. So why didn't it trip? I bet you we got blown fuses down below. Look, arced, welded shut right there. Welded shut badly too. Yep. But that's definitely an issue. We got yellow, black, and blue. Yellow, black, and blue. It's going to be this compressor right here. I always get a little nervous pulling these plugs off after an electrical event like this, and that thing looks melted on there. First thing I'm going to do is check and see if there's any refrigerant in this system, because if there's no refrigerant, I don't have to be as worried about this plug blowing out when I try to remove this. But this melted dimple on this sticker on the compressor is a dead giveaway that there's an issue there. Okay, well, we have 1.2 pounds of refrigerant in stage 1. So let's see if this compressor is any good. But right there, I've got my probe on the suction line, 1.2 pounds. So I'm not as worried about pulling this plug off now. Oh boy, look at that. Melted. We're gonna have a bad compressor here. And it stinks. So let's go ahead and test the windings. Open, open, open. Let's check to ground. Now, nothing short of the ground that I can get, but definitely open windings. And you can see that harness. Whether it shorts to ground after power's applied, I'm not sure, but definitely have a bad compressor. Got very hot and melted the shit out of this. The contactor is welded shut. So let's test voltage now in the disconnect here and see if we have the proper voltage up here. I guarantee you we have a blown fuse. Screwdriver. I got 45 volts to ground, 281, and 46 volts. So more than likely we have 2 blown fuses down in the store. Let's see if we've got any refrigerant in this second stage. Yeah, this one has refrigerant in it, 215 pounds of standing pressure. We're not going to be able to cycle anything because more than likely don't have fuses and we need a compressor. All right, and it's not shorted to ground, but all the windings are open and you can see this is melted. I did wonder where it lost all the refrigerant. Very possibly could have lost it right through the electrical plug here. Maybe one of these dimples blew out on the back side. It's hard to say. I'm gonna open up the blower compartment, take a quick peek in there, make sure nothing crazy has gone on there. And in the meantime, I'm gonna throw my probe in this one. It's starting to sprinkle, starting to rain. See what kind of temperature we're putting out here. Oh yeah. We'll go ahead and open this up, make sure the blower's good and nothing crazy going on there. Well, we've got no box connector right into the motor. Looks like they're starting to rub out here. The bearings are grinding a little bit, and we've got a lot of belt dust everywhere. So let me note this stuff. I'd really like to get a box connector in there, and we got to get these pinned up or else we'll be back for more blown fuses. So compressor for sure. Leak search, I mean, I guess you're gonna get that when you do the compressor anyway, but more than likely it blew out right here at the wire connection. You can see it's all melted. We're gonna need a new wire harness. I'm gonna take a peek at these fans, make sure they spin, make sure the bearings aren't shot. Like I said, we're not gonna be able to run it right now. They look pretty crappy, I can tell you that. Well, like I said, they spin and the bearings aren't super loose or anything like that. So for the time being, I'm not gonna do anything with them, and we'll see if they work when we come back. That's gonna be it for right now on this one. Let's go take a peek and see what kind of temperature we're putting out on this guy. 71. Did it shut off? I bet you this thing's cycling off. It's not a very, I mean, I got 75 degrees in the store. It's only putting out 71 degrees. Bet you that coil's frozen solid. Let me get this buttoned up and finished, and then we'll move on over to that one. I got this one buttoned up. I got all the information, everything noted, everything I'm gonna need to get the compressor replaced, filter dryer size, refrigerant type and amount. I'm also gonna add, to cover this, just get a piece of sheet metal, screw it on there, disconnect staying off, for now, and then we will go down to the store before we go and see what kind of fuses, test them, make sure that we note that so we know what fuses to come back with. 70 degrees. I hear the compressor kicking on and off. I see second stage frozen and first stage is running and it looks to be sweating. So let me open this thing up, see what we got going on. I'm gonna shut the camera off because I'm kind of trying to work quickly. The rain could come at any moment, and messing around with the camera just isn't doing it. I gotta be quick. The lower contactors pulled in, both compressor contactors. It's probably not gonna cycle off on low pressure now because I took the panel off, but the suction line on first stage is nice and cold, sweating. Suction line on stage 2 is cold, but as you can see, freezing up there. I want to open up the blower compartment, see, are we frozen up on that top half of the coil? If so, I'm going to disable and let that thaw. It could be that the other unit just isn't running at all and this unit never shut off, and that's why it froze. It's gonna be hard to say till I get it thawed out or whatever. So again on this one, no, I mean, I guess that's not a sharp edge. Is that the way that's supposed to be? I like to have a box connector or some type of grommet in there. Let's pull these out and see, do we have plugged up filters? Wow, that's the easiest one of those have ever come off. I'm gonna add filters to the right up. Yeah, we're not thawed up, or we're not froze up on this side, but look at that evaporator. I'm just gonna write up coil cleaning too. Everything, clean all coils. This entire thing is gonna get the full works. I'm gonna put this panel back on. I'm gonna disable it and run just the blower and get that thawed out and see if we can see what's going on with stage 2. Just gonna looks like they got Y1 and Y2 jumped together too. Why? Whatever. All right. Is the heat on? Did I just hear the heat kick on? Why is the fucking heat on? What in the hell is going on? Electric heat. Sure looks like that contactor's pulled shut. Do they have white tied into Y2 or something down there? Yeah, the freaking heat's running. What in the hell is going on here? Frozen up coil and the heat running? We got 26 volts on W. Why in the world? Look at that. 26 volts on W. Well, we're gonna go ahead and unhook that right now. Figure out why in the hell, what this is wired to. Yeah, let's not run the heat. Let me get this panel on and get this thing thawed out. I think in the meantime, I'm gonna go downstairs and see what the hell's going on with this thermostat and also what's going on with those fuses. So, just trying to wrap my head around this with one unit not running at all and our other unit running both stages of cooling and heat. That thing would have never shut off. Maybe that's why it's frozen up. I don't know. I can't do anything till it's thawed out. I want to figure out why it's calling for heat. So I'm gonna have to take the thermostat apart and see what W is wired into. More than likely it's spliced together somewhere. I saw 2 different colored thermostat wires landed in the unit. First things first, that's gonna give me time to get that thawed out while I go and look at the fuses. So let's do that. Hopefully I can film inside the store. It's like 50-50 on whether I feel comfortable or not doing it. All right, guys, thermostat's wired up properly, so I'm assuming it's bugged together somewhere or we have a bad thermostat. This I'm getting two blown fuses here and here. The one in the middle is good. Yeah. Open line. There's our good one. And then open line. So we have two bad fuses. I'm gonna get pictures of this. I'm gonna leave the disconnect off right here. I'm gonna see if I can find a place where that thermostat wire may have gotten bugged together. Possibly that's why it's calling for heat, but the thermostat itself is only calling for cooling, but we are powered to W for some reason. So I'm back on the roof, thawing out. I heard a big chunk of ice fall off of the coil. We are still calling for W. Like I said, I pulled that thermostat. It's one of those new ones where you land everything on that freaking platform. It was wired right, white to W1. So let me pull this and see if we've got wires bugged together somewhere. What do we got here? Two thermostat wires coming up. Let me shut this thing off and see if we're all thawed out yet. Wasn't expecting multiple issues. What are you gonna do? Hey, it looks like we're all thawed out. Didn't take too long because it's hot. Now that we got the heat off. Oh yeah, that was the ice I heard fall. What is this? No freaking wire, no electrical cover on the motor. What a pain in the ass. Let's see how this blower sounds. We may just be replacing all kinds of stuff here. Oh, listen to those bearings. I guess we don't have to worry about it because I'm gonna write it up to be replaced. Oh, here's one. Like, who puts a blower motor in and doesn't put the electrical cover back on? You just got wires hanging out of the thing. What a... That blower motor sounds like dog shit. All right. That's about all the ice I could get out of there. Thought I brought a rag up. Apparently I didn't. I don't see anywhere where the wires are bugged together, but I don't know why. Maybe that's for the smoke detector. Yeah, it's gotta be it. So, why are we calling for... It's gotta be a bad thermostat. Because if it's a solid piece of wire all the way down, my wire in the thermostat is white. I can only assume that it is white the whole way down. And if we have no breaks or bugs, this is our... Yeah, this is our smoke detector. So we're feeding power through the smoke detector back and then down to R on the thermostat, and then you get your call for Y or W and G. We're just gonna leave W disconnected for now. That way the heat's not on. I'm gonna write up a thermostat to bring with, and we're gonna do some further troubleshooting on that. It's late in the day and I'm just not gonna get involved in it right now. I can simply unhook W and take care of that issue. My biggest concern now is this system low? What's the problem? Are our orifices gummed up and plugged up? I don't know. So that's what I'm gonna figure out now. We'll figure out what's going on with the heat later. I'll end up probably just writing up to bring a thermostat with us, and if we need to replace it, we will. Let me get the information on this blower because the bearings are starting to grind. There's no electrical cover on the backside and no grommet. One other thing I noticed is the adjustment on the pulley has shifted. It's not landed on the flat spot of that pulley. So like I said, we're gonna get a new pulley when we write up this motor. I don't like the fact that it's so filthy, the bearings are grinding, no grommet and no electrical cover in the back. Got as much of the ice out as I'm gonna get. I got that cover for the electric strip heat put back in place. I just want to get these people some cooling here. Like I said, I'm gonna write up a thermostat and we're gonna take a quick look and see if we can find a bug together spot or ohm it out, make sure that that's what is in fact going on. Can't really troubleshoot that. I guess I could go on the pins and see if it's closed between R and W on the thermostat, but we'll deal with that when we come back. We get this blower compartment put in place. I want to get some probes on second stage, and I want to take a temperature reading. Okay, I got W, of course, disconnected, R to Y1 to Y2 jumped, and G. Got my probes on there. Got standing pressure of about 208 pounds, 207.7. Let's see what this thing does. Get this in place. All right, and like I said, this will get taken care of once we come back with some sheet metal. 96 pounds of pressure, 400 pounds of head pressure. Look, we got a 12-degree saturation temperature right off the bat. I'm gonna have to go get my clamps. They're in my other bag. I'd say we have a restriction. Just went off on low pressure switch. And back on. Off on low pressure switch. So let me go grab my clamps and we'll be back. And we're freezing up right there at the distributor, right there in those orifices. Of course, my phone disconnected from the probes. I walked like 4 feet away and they're off. So I'm just gonna grab a set of gauges. I like the probes, they're handy, but for me, I don't know, a lot of messing around trying to get things to connect and stay connected to my device. They have their time and place for me, in my opinion, but I like digital manifold gauges. I've got them all. I've got the field piece, I've got the testo, in both digital manifold and probes. So it's not like I don't have the stuff to use it, but just partial to the manifold, less messing around trying to get things to connect or update or whatever, you know. I just can put the thing on and it tells me what I need to know. All right, got my gauges hooked up with my wireless pipe clamps. There we go. See if we can't, I mean, we're gonna stay connected to this thing now because clearly, oh man, my batteries are almost dead. Son of a bitch, it's always something. We'll let this thing run for a bit and revisit it. See what kind of pressures, what kind of saturation temperatures we got. Got my probes hooked up so I can monitor superheat, subcooling, and we can go from there. Well, our saturation temperature is dropping dramatically. We're down to 13 degrees. Saturation temperature, that's 63 pounds of suction pressure. We're at 350 pounds of head pressure. Our superheat, 71 degrees right now. Our subcooling, 20.4 and dropping. So let's let this run for a bit. I want to determine whether or not we're restricted or low. And we're down below 10 degrees of saturation temperature. It's like it's bouncing back though, back up to 10 possibly. All right guys, this is right about where we're leveling off at 80 degrees of suction pressure. That's putting our superheat at 62.4 with a saturation temperature at 22. 369 pounds of head pressure. Subcooling 25.6. I think we're restricted. Regardless, we're gonna come back out, recover the refrigerant, replace the filter dryer. We're gonna back blow everything where those orifices are that feed into the evaporator and do a pressure test. So if we end up finding a leak, I don't believe we're low though. I believe we're restricted. So low suction pressure, higher head pressure, high superheat, relatively normal subcooling. I mean, not out of this world, 26 degrees. I think we got a restriction. That's what I'm gonna write it up as. Fans are running, blowers running, compartments are on, panels are on. Putting out 54-degree supply air. A 54-degree supply is not horrible with one circuit freezing up, the other one operating properly, and one whole unit down because of blown fuses. That's gonna do it for this one, guys. If you liked the video, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That'll notify you anytime I got a new video coming out. Leave me a comment, hit like. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you on the next one.